Hi there, this is Dr. Whiting, and today I want to talk to you about a subject that is becoming increasingly more apparent, more prolific in our society, and that's called heavy metal poisoning or heavy metal toxicity. Our environment is filled with thousands and thousands of chemicals that weren't here 60 years ago, even 40 years ago. And many of those compounds contain heavy metals. Now, what do we mean by heavy metals? Well, things like lead, cadmium, arsenic, there's so many of them. And when these minerals get into chemical compounds and they're ingested into the body, the liver is unable to effectively detoxify them. And when that occurs, those heavy metals can build up in the liver and soft tissues of the body, waiting for a time in which they may be eliminated. But that oftentimes does not occur, and these levels can slowly continue to rise, especially with repeated exposures. And this can lead to a wide variety of serious health concerns: fatigue, lethargy. They've even been linked to some forms of cancer and various other more serious illnesses. So, when we talk about heavy metals, what we're talking about are what's called cationic minerals. Cationic is a chemical term that means positively charged. And most inorganic heavy metal raw elemental compounds containing minerals contain cationic minerals. Cations come from non-organic compounds, as opposed to their counterparts, which are known as anions or anionic minerals, which come from organic compounds. Now, elementally, minerals can be naturally cationic or anionic. But when they become part of organic compounds, they are enveloped or encircled with proteins and other substances from the plant that create an anionic electrical charge. Now, while all of this might seem a little complicated, I only go over this because of one simple reason. When we're trying to remove heavy metals from the soft tissues of the body, we use a magnetic concept. And that magnetic concept is opposites attract. Now, in medicine, they can use what's called chelation therapy. Chelation is a term that means to bind or to hook up. And they often use synthetic amino acids, such as EDTA and others. They use specially charged mineral compounds that, when infused into the venal system of the body intravenously, they magnetically attract to the heavy metal counterparts, or the cations, bind them together, which is to chelate, and then safely remove them via the kidneys and the solid waste. There are other methods of chelation. When you use aggressive intravenous chelation, you run the risk of depleting the body of the beneficial minerals as well, because to a great extent, chelation, or most chelates, are non-selective or non-specific, which means they chelate all the beneficial minerals as well as the heavy metals, and you can become severely mineral deficient. This is why people who are very well trained in chelation therapy will always suggest or insist that you replenish the body with nutrients, especially minerals, after each chelation therapy. A method that has been used for at least 60 years in the removal of these heavy metals, thus eliminating heavy metal toxicity, is called organic mineral compounds. These compounds in supplement form have been available for at least 60 years, making them one of the oldest continually selling available dietary supplements in the world. And when you use organic compounds, they are naturally anionic. They not only will attract the heavy metal counterparts, such as in chelation, but they will also replace the lost minerals at the same time. Because it is a broad-spectrum mineral product, it also replaces the beneficial minerals at the same time. So you almost never run the risk of creating an artificial mineral deficiency situation. Because opposites attract, the anions in organic colloidal trace minerals have an affinity for these heavy metal poisons. This is not a fast fix. This process can take several weeks. But the advantage is that it is very gentle on the body and does not cause some of the aggressive side effects known to occur on occasion from intravenous chelation. What are some of these minerals that we might be concerned about when internal? Well, how about mercury? Now, we know that for decades the dental industry used mercury-based fillings. And when you have those fillings removed, even though they take several precautions, it is not uncommon for mercury levels to rise dramatically in your soft tissues. Fertilizers. You know, most of us have the false illusion that when you live in the city, you're exposed to more chemicals than in the country. This is not the case. Herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers, all contain organic and inorganic compounds that are laced and linked with various heavy metals. Auto exhaust in larger cities, filled with cadmium and various other heavy metals. And these are just a few examples of the many different heavy metal toxicity situations we can get ourselves into. Now, where would you get these ionic bioelectrical trace minerals? Well, there is a company in Southern California who has been offering them for a great many years, probably over a dozen years now. The source of those comes from a very unique mining operation in the state of Utah. If you're interested in trying and obtaining these bioelectrical trace minerals, you can find them at www.phoenixnutritionals.com. You can also call them at 1-800-440-2390 and let them know that you saw our video here at Healthy Information. Just tell them that you want the organic trace minerals and they will know how to direct you. These minerals have been tested. They have been around for, as I said earlier, longer than almost any other supplement in history, and their safety and effectiveness is widespread. On other videos where we've discussed these various minerals, you might recall where I talked about athletes using these minerals to help recovery. We use these minerals to help rebuild joint and connective tissue, broken bones. It accelerates the healing process because of the electrical charge. But our discussion today focuses on the removal of heavy toxic metals from the soft tissues of the body. Should you have any further questions about this or any other subject concerning your health, wellness, and well-being, please feel free to email me at AskTheDoc, that's AskTheDoc, at healthyinformation.com. You can also reach my research office at 1-888-454-8464. Heavy metal toxicity is becoming a greater and greater problem as more and more chemical compounds are being poured into our environment. There are answers and there are ways that you can protect yourself and restore the integrity of your soft tissues. I'm Dr. Whiting, and thanks for listening.